Hello and welcome to the Nutrition Diva podcast. I'm your host, Monica Reinagel, and today I have answers to two listener questions. Julie is wondering how drinking water with meals affects your ability to digest food and absorb nutrients. But first, Bob has a question about fruits and vegetables. I keep hearing that I should include fruits and vegetables in my daily diet, he writes. But how much variety do I need in order to meet the requirement? Can I just eat apples, bananas, broccoli, and corn, or do I need more variety? You're right. Eating plenty of produce is one of the cornerstones of a healthy diet. Fruits and vegetables provide similar types of nutrients. They're both good sources of fiber, antioxidants, and various phytonutrients. That simply means plant-based nutrients, which have been linked to a wide variety of health benefits. Of course, fruits tend to be higher in sugar than vegetables, which makes them an easier sell in some ways. To the extent that people may struggle to incorporate fruit on a regular basis, it's usually an issue of planning, logistics, habits, or access, and not that they don't enjoy it. Personally, I like to use fruit to satisfy my sweet tooth in a healthier way. I recommend aiming for 5 servings of vegetables and 2 or 3 servings of fruit each day. But look, if you wanted to skip the fruit and just eat extra vegetables instead, I would have absolutely no objection. People who eat more vegetables end up eating less junk food. They're more likely to maintain a healthy body weight. They're less likely to have nutrient deficiencies. And in general, they're healthier and they live longer. But data show that getting a greater variety of produce also improves your overall nutrient intake and reduces your risk factor for several diseases independent of the amount you are eating. Those of you who are familiar with my Nutrition GPA app will know that you earn points by eating 5 servings of vegetables over the course of the day, but you can also earn points simply by eating 3 different types of vegetables in any given day. Every plant has a slightly different nutritional profile and provides unique phytonutrients. That doesn't mean that you have to eat them all. Plants from the same families tend to provide similar nutritional benefits. For example, cruciferous vegetables, which include things like broccoli, kale, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, are rich in cancer-fighting compounds called glucosinolates. Carrots, sweet potatoes, and winter squash, on the other hand, are all good sources of carotenoids, which help protect your eyes and your vision. Green beans, snow peas, and sugar snap peas are higher in protein than most vegetables. Leafy greens are great sources of vitamin K and folate, which help to keep your bones strong. And don't forget about garlic, onions, and shallots. These members of the onion family contain anti-inflammatory flavonoids. It's a similar situation on the fruit side of the aisle. Citrus fruit contains citrus bioflavonoids. Berries and grapes are rich in anthocyanins. Apples and pears are higher in fiber, especially if you eat the skins. Bananas are famously rich in potassium, and so on. So even if you're not quite getting 5 servings a day, you can do yourself a big favor by playing the field a little bit. I'm not saying you have to have 5 different vegetables every single day. But when you're buying your vegetables and your fruit for the week, aim for an array of different colors and botanical families. Julie recently emailed me with a question about drinking water during meals. She'd heard that it's bad for absorption, and other listeners have written with similar concerns about water diluting digestive juices or impairing digestion. Let me put your mind at ease. Assuming you don't have a digestive disorder, drinking water with your meals will not interfere with your ability to digest foods. It is true that drinking a lot of water will dilute the stomach acid to some extent. However, the impact is mild and transient because the cells lining the stomach will secrete more hydrochloric acid if the pH of the stomach gets too high. I mean, when you think about it, fruits and vegetables are up to 96% water. So if water impaired digestion, how would we ever digest them? In fact, drinking water with meals helps your body process and break down food more effectively. And there are some other potential advantages as well. Your stomach is a little like a water balloon. When it's empty, it's relatively small and slack. And when you fill it up, it stretches and gets tauter. And there are special nerve cells in the lining of your stomach. They're called proprioceptors, and they detect this stretching and send a message to your brain that you're full. Now, the only thing that these proprioceptors can sense is stretching. They can't tell the difference between a pint of water and a pint of half and half. All they know is that something is filling your stomach. So if you're watching your weight, you can use this to your advantage. People who drink a glass or two of water before they sit down to eat end up eating fewer calories, which can obviously help with weight loss or weight maintenance. And you can put the same strategy to work by choosing foods that have a higher water content, such as vegetables, over those that have less water in them. And as long as we're on the subject, let me just tackle a couple of other internet myths and misunderstandings about water. Here's another listener email. I heard someone say that cold drinks will slow down the metabolism. So even if they are low in calories, they can still slow weight loss. Is it true? This one is actually completely false, and it's not really even logical. Drinking cold drinks actually helps you burn a few extra calories because your body has to spend energy to heat them up to body temperature. Now, before you get too excited about ice water as a weight loss strategy, let's just do the math here. Now, depending on how long it's been since you were in high school, you might still have a dim memory of the definition of a calorie. A calorie is the amount of energy it takes to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. Okay, so a 16-ounce glass of water is about 470 grams. The temperature of ice water is 0 degrees Celsius, and body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So 37 times 470 equals 17,390 calories. Wow! That's a whole lot more calories than you can burn in half an hour on the treadmill, but there is a small wrinkle. When we talk about calories in relationship to food and nutrition, we're actually talking about kilocalories or kcals. A stalk of celery, for example, actually contains 6,000 calories, but to save the effort of writing all those zeros, we just say that a stalk of celery contains 6 kcals. And in popular use, kcals are also referred to simply as calories, but with a capital C. So, if you're still with me, drinking a glass of ice water burns just 17 kilocalories. That means in order to lose 1 pound of body weight, you'd have to drink about 205 glasses of ice water. And even that isn't quite accurate because we include the energy that it takes to maintain your body temperature when we calculate how many calories you should be eating. So I hope I've made the case now that in terms of weight loss strategies, drinking cold water is really the long way around the block. Taking a brisk walk around that same block would be a lot more effective. And finally, let me also debunk another rumor that occasionally makes the rounds, which is that drinking ice water with meals will cause fats to congeal in your stomach and that this can cause stomach or colon cancer. Once you drink it, ice water is fairly quickly brought up to room temperature, so this really isn't a concern. Thanks, though, to Bob and Julie for their questions today. And if you have a question you'd like me to answer, you can email it to me at nutrition@quickanddirtytips.com or leave me a voicemail at 443-961-6206. And just a quick reminder that I'm hosting a 30-day nutrition challenge for my listeners. It features the Nutrition GPA app that I mentioned earlier in the show, and that starts on March 18th. So if you'd like to join us, you can still sign up at nutritionovereasy.com/upgrade. Nutrition Diva is a Quick and Dirty Tips podcast. It's audio engineered by Nathan Sems with script editing by Adam Cecil. And big thanks also to Holly Hutchings, Davina Tomlin, Morgan Christensen, and Cameron Lacey. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you next week.